Okay, welcome everyone joining us. Welcome to brokers, lenders, Spotlight users, Spotlight curious. We're so happy to have you on the webinar today. Obviously, the theme is Untapped Value, Unleash the Power of Lender Spotlight. Today, featuring we've got myself, Brad Lister, the lender solution specialist here at Lendesk, and Lucy Mulvaney, the director of product at Lendesk. And we're super excited to have you join us and hear a little bit more about what we're up to and some of what we think is maybe some value that you might be missing, things that you can get even more value out of Lender Spotlight. So the agenda today in this, what I'm going to look at what I consider three key untapped areas that you're maybe not always getting I've heard from a lot of people that I don't know if you're not always getting as much as you can over it. That's the policy area, the alternative lending area, and the compare and share. We'll also touch on how Finmo and Lender Spotlight is connected. Lucy will be giving some overview on product and where the product's going, and that should be really great. And then we'll have a Q&A period and answer any sort of questions that you have about Spotlight or anything else we can help you with. So, as I said, untapped value, the policy area. Just looks like it. It is 110 data points across 65 lenders. So it's all of and don't worry, I will be going into the Spotlight to kind of give you a real show on it. It's all those emails you're getting from lenders that say, hey, we do this, or broker kits, or everything like that. This is that Wikipedia page to really dive in and make sure, hey, if you need to look for something, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Another area, untapped value, the alternative lending area. This is, and I'm going to show you in here, common questions. How do I search when I'm looking at the alternative lending area? What if my city or area isn't listed? This area we're taking a look at is is sort of privates and those in a non-defined price category. So you might see some all B lenders with any sort of non-defined pricing. We're going to show you how to really get a lot of value out of that area and how I feel like it's a bit untapped. And then lastly, we're going to kind of dive into compare and share. Oh, jump out of that. Now let's share into Lender Spotlight. Okay, as I promised, starting on the policy area. So as I said, this is 110 policy data points across all 65 lenders. It's listed in alphabetical order. Everything from auto property valuations all the way down to value-added products. You're going to find, for example, if you're looking for a specific income, you'll find it under income dash. If you're looking for everything under switch transfers, you'll find it under switch dash. If you're looking for anything under rentals, you'll find it under rentals dash. For example, a couple of things that I've noticed recently that people, I saw lots of questions in some of those broker forums where it asked about, hey, does anybody have a list of lenders who have a static payment for their variable rate or their ARM or anything like that? We do that here in Spotlight, actually. And so we talk about policy information around their variable rate or ARM, and then whether or not the payment stays static. And so we go through, and if we didn't have that information, actually, when we noticed a lot of the rate updates, we actually went to the lender and started asking. And that is also what we do here on Spotlight. The lender may not be putting that out in a policy book or something like that, but if you come on to the chat looking for a specific policy, cannot find it, first, please tell me, because feedback is super duper important. And Lucy will obviously dive into some of that later too as well, but also I love hearing about that because then it tells me, oh, maybe something's not clear. Maybe we've written it a little unclear. So I will work closely with a lender to make sure, okay, hey, there's some confusion around how this is said. Can you help me? What exactly here? And we do work tightly with the lenders. Lenders will send us out all kinds of updated information all the time, telling us, oh, hey, Brad, so-and-so said this. Can you check? Do you make sure you have this right? We're constantly sort of making sure this area is real value for you. And we think it is, and we know, and I still love my favorite quote from one broker. They said about Lender Spotlight, I'd be dead. I thought, wow, okay, that's a great quote. That just tells me that we've really tried to do something really good for you. Now, the alternative lending area, one of our more newer areas. Well, just to give you a quick history, Spotlight started almost 5 years ago. I was part of some of the original team that was part of when Spotlight started. And this area wasn't really part of it, actually. But as Spotlight's grown and more users are here all the time, and they started using rates from the A and Alt-A area and those defined rates, and they started using the policy, they started saying, hey, we've got these private files. We've got all this kind of information. So what you'll hear from Lucy, they took all that feedback, they took all that information, and voila, we started on this area. So you're going to come in, you're going to search Ontario, then you're going to search, unlike you'll notice on the A side, and I'm actually close to London, Ontario, so I'm going to search that way. You're going to then pick the loan goal that you're looking for. Is it a power of sale rescue? Is it a tax arrears rescue? Is this a cottage and holiday home? Are you trying to do an equity takeout? Is it just a regular purchase first? So then you'll do a search. Up will come the lenders that are available. However, there's like 35, but that's not quite enough, or that's a little too many. So you're then going to search a little further, and being near London, chances are maybe this is a rooming house, student house. 12 months, $1.5 million. And now you're going to be down to the lenders that would likely be able to assist you. Unlike the A side, which you'll have always seen if you're some Spotlight users, or if you're new, that's a separate thing. I can give you further training on the whole tool. But what you'll notice on this side is it's up to the certain LTV. So if you click on, for example, River Rock, you're going to open that, you're going to see up to a certain value, first rate starting at any sort of information. If you're a Finmo user, which we certainly hope and would love that you were, you can click on that and open up Finmo to submit. You can also click on any contact information, and you can see where the BDMs, any particular website, any contacts of who might you need to take a look at or chat with, and go from there. Now, so that's this area. However, what if you're kind of come back here and do a search and you're like, okay, but I'm looking and the lender, the city is not listed. Well, when we created this, we couldn't obviously list every city in the entire country. So we're going to have you scroll to the bottom and you're going to see not listed. Is this location rural? Yes or no? What we want you to think about rural is 5,000 or less. That's what we've sort of deemed at. So when the lenders, and that's another distinction here, there's a team that manages all the rate side, but lenders, the alt lenders who are on here manage their own data. So when they loaded it up, they chose that if a broker comes on or a user comes on and picks not listed, is this location rural, yes or no? They toggled it on, off, whether or not they wanted to be seen in that. And then I'm going to click search, and you're going to see some different lenders. For example, you've seen, unlike that area, you've seen Pillar or PMB who didn't pop up when we initially searched London. All right. Now, the other tool that we think is super awesome, and obviously, as we've gone through this whole period now, and you're seeing updated rates almost daily, things are a little calmer recently. We always want to know, like, how do I show that off to my clients? So, for example, I'm going to pull up a saved search, another great feature that I had already done. And let's pull this one up. And so this is a saved search that I've done. And now I want to send a report off to the client. I want to use what's called our compare and share tool. So this was an insured 5-year fixed purchase. We're going to click on Strive. And you saw that I clicked on the rate card here and added the plus, and now we've opened up the compare and share. You can do almost 10 or up to 10. I would doubt you'd highly ever send 10 to a client. That would be kind of super confusing for sure. You can do that. Then you can, for example, say you're going to do the frontline promo because maybe with RFA, because maybe your client is a nurse or a doctor. So you're going to add that. And then marathon, you want to do the 469 and you're going to add that. You're going to click on compare 3 products and look at this. You're going to see current rates because that save search that I told you about, when you pull that up, if you save that, because let's say these were your 3 top lenders, these rates are going to always stay up to date. So if there's a rate update, they'll have shown up. You're going to see any policy information. So we scroll down here, we can see all the information around prepayment privileges of payout, prepayment options, prepayment penalties, information around down payment, information around switch transfers, rental income. And when you click on create report, you can do a little address. You can do dear client. You can take the lender name off, because I actually, when I've shown this off to brokers, they will often say to me, I don't like telling people what the lender name is. That's okay. That's no problem. Happy to have that area, because we click on create report. You've got the lender name right off. If we go back, on it, sorry, I clicked on my one screen. If I pull it back up, run the report again, and you can see it's had the name included in there as well. And if you're scrolling through, you can then see all the information. You can include as many of the policy information, so that would be showing below, and you could send that out to your client. And that's what I consider some amazing uptime value. I'm going to kind of take a pause here because I might see potentially some questions. Do we have an option for commercial? Oh, we may talk about that. Hello, there's been some instances many times that rates and policies at Lender Spotlight has not been updated. Even some lenders told us that it's not updated sometimes on Lender Spotlight. How can the brokers rely on this information? We actually, so thanks for those 2 questions, just to give you that. You actually reach out anytime. We're constantly updating it. So if there is something that you're not seeing updated, we do want to hear from you. We do want to hear from you about anything like that, because actually what we're going to end up doing is we're going to turn around and give you a $10 Starbucks gift card. We'll get into some few more of these questions afterwards, but I'm going to turn it over to Lucy.
Thanks, Brad. As Brad kindly introduced me, I'm Lucy Mulvaney. I'm the Director of Product at Lendesk, and I've been working with Lender Spotlight for about 3 years now, and I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed seeing it evolve and really thinking about Lender Spotlight as a product and how we can build different things to help brokers. At the heart of what we do and what we think about when we're trying to decide what to build is really how can we help you, the brokers, find the best lending solutions for your clients quickly and easily. But what does that actually mean? So from a product perspective, I try and break it down into kind of 4 key areas. The first key area is we want Lender Spotlight to be available whenever you need to use it. Everyone works with flexible times, so we want to make sure that the site is available. We have a 99.99% uptime, and what it actually means is we have very few unplanned outages, which we're really proud of. And the reason we have so few outages is our product development team really does a lot of work under the hood. So these are changes that you won't necessarily see, but they're super critical, really important. It really makes sure our code base is healthy, everything's stable, and everything's up to date. The second thing, we want you to be able to access the site however you want. If you're at home working on your laptop, if you're out and about on your phone, using your tablet. And what that means is we've focused on making the site mobile responsive. So you can use it on any device that you want. The third one, and I think this is relevant as well to the question that was just asked, we want to make sure that we have the most comprehensive and accurate data for rates, products, and policies for lenders across the country. And what that really means is we work hard to build relationships with these lenders, so they're giving us the most relevant information as soon as it's available, so we can make sure it's updated and available for you all. But as Brad said, if you ever find something that you're a bit unsure if it's up to date or not, please reach out. We'd love to hear. And the fourth thing that we think about when we're thinking about product is obviously creating an amazing experience for yourselves. So this is really important and obviously a key part of product. And how we do this is we do a lot of different kinds of research, we analyze data, but what we also do is ask you. We ask for your feedback and we listen. So every time you are in a webinar, in a training session, chatting to Brad, maybe you're asking some questions on our live chat within Lender Spotlight, if you're giving feedback, suggestions, maybe telling us about a problem you're having, these all get funneled through into an internal system that we have here, where I review all of them and I categorize them in different ways and kind of lump them together. And this really helps me understand where are the problems, where should we focus our developers' time and energy, and what are the biggest kind of concerns that brokers have. So what are some of the changes that we have made using this feedback? So we've done quite a few, but I'm going to touch on 3 that we've done in the past few months. So the first one, brokers were telling us it's really difficult to find lenders or to find products that match clients' specific TDS and GDS. So what we did is we added these 2 fields in the left-hand filter panel on the rates area. So if you add TDS or GDS or both of them, you will only see lenders or lender products that fit that information for the TDS and GDS. If the TDS and GDS are like a little way out and you're not seeing these results, just go over to the alternative lending area where things are a little bit more flexible. So the second thing that we were hearing, the brokers were telling us sometimes when they're using the mortgage amount filter, some of the results were a little bit confusing. So we took a look at how we were managing this, and we were using different naming conventions, putting details and description to kind of explain the different ranges and that type of thing. But we didn't think this was good enough. We thought we could do better, and we wanted to improve it to make sure that you guys were confident in our accuracy. So we worked through and redid the logic. And for the over 6,000 different product cards, we put specific ranges to make sure that whenever you put a mortgage amount, only the exact correct product cards will show, and you don't have to rely on reading some of the descriptions. And the third thing, so we heard this a lot, and we heard it for a while. I can't filter policies by province. So Brad told you and showed you that feature is now available. We understood it is really important. We heard you. So we thought, absolutely, let's do it. It was a little more complex than we thought, but the team focused and they delivered the feature. So now in the policy area, you can choose whatever province is relevant to you. It'll filter out any lenders that aren't relevant. So when you type in the keywords in the search feature, or as Brad was showing you, choose the policy down the left-hand side, you're going to get a more refined list of results of lenders for your specific province. And we know that brokers have been using this and they've been telling us that it's great and they really like it. So we appreciated the feedback and the team was really happy about that. So these are some of the changes that we've already made. But what are we working on at the moment? What a great question. So we are going to be focusing on our alternative lending area. We released this feature last year and we have had a lot of feedback from brokers and from lenders about it. So some of the stuff that we've been hearing is that when you move into the alternative private kind of mixed space, it's quite complex and there's a lot going on there. So while it's great to be able to filter and find some lenders and the information, the lending solution information that the lenders are uploading and providing, we've heard it's useful, it answers a lot of questions and it's really helpful. But what about when a broker wants to ask more questions before they move over to actually submit a deal? So what we wanted to do is make it really easy for a broker to connect and reach out to an alternative lender. So you can hopefully see in the image that's displaying right now, there is a contact form. And that is now, well, we're building it, so it's not quite released yet, but it will be displaying in the contacts area for that particular lending solution or that particular lender. And what you'll see is a pre-populated message that will go to the lender with any filters that you've selected. So that will include if you've put a province and a specific area and any other kind of information that you've added into the filter will be pre-populated. You can, as a broker, go in and change the message, customize it, put anything you want in there that's relevant. And then with the click of a button, it will go to the lender. And we already have their contact information. So it will go to their email. It will also go to your email, just so you have a record of what you sent. And then when a lender responds to you, it'll go directly to your inbox. So you can manage that conversation like you normally would through email. Lender Spotlight's just there really to connect you and make that process really easy. You can also add your phone number if you wanted to be called. So that is what we're building at the moment. We are hoping to get that out in the next couple of weeks. And what we'll do is whenever we release a new feature, we put like a little in-app message and we tell people, hey, this new feature is available, or we might include it in some emails or something like that. So we'll let you know when it's there. Please take a look. Let us know what you think. As Brad said, we're always happy to hear your feedback. We want to know that we got it right. So that's what we're building. And what are we doing after that? So what we're actually designing and researching now is construction lending. So from day one, when we released our alternative lending area, we focused on residential. And immediately people started asking, what about construction lending? What about commercial? So we were reading all this feedback that was coming through, all these different kinds of questions, and we compared the two and we decided that we were going to focus first on construction lending. So there isn't a commercial option yet, and the one that we're working on right now is really about construction. We'd also been told that it's even more challenging at the moment in the current environment with some of the lenders who were doing construction lending kind of moving away from that. And we wanted to help with this. So what our product design team and development team are doing are really looking for ways that we can help a broker find a lender who is working in their specific location that might have suitable construction lending solutions for them that meet their clients' needs. And what I would love is if anyone has any questions or feedback on this particular feature, if you wanted to be involved in the customer interviews that we do, or if you just wanted to kind of get involved and tell us what you think or what might work for you, that would be amazing. As part of our design process, we do a lot of different things, but we always want to check in with brokers to make sure that what we're building or what we're designing is actually going to be useful and helpful. So that's really part of our design process. So please reach out if you want to be involved in that. And before I hand over, I just want to say a huge thank you. In the last 3 years that I've worked with Lender Spotlight, I've talked to a lot of you. I've seen a lot of feedback come through Brad and come through our other teams, and that I'm just so grateful for it. From a product point of view, this is what we need, and this is really how I understand what to build and how to build things that are useful for you by getting all this great feedback from everyone. And that can be suggestions of what you might want to see or new features, but it's also you just telling us if you're having a problem with something, or if you thought something was slow, or if you thought it was difficult to use. It's not complaining, it's insights that I find really useful. So thank you so much for anyone who's taken the time to give us feedback and to work with us. Back to you, Brad.
No problem. Thank you very much, Lucy. That was awesome. So yes, I will sort of move on here. A bit of Finmo and Lender Spotlight. How do they connect? For those obviously that don't know, Lender Spotlight and Finmo are two products that are part of Lendesk. For a lot of brokers who are using Finmo, which is a similar sort of POS submission platform like Filogix and others, you do and are able to get Lender Spotlight as part of that and get free, and you're also able to do a separate Lender Spotlight subscription. So if you're kind of curious, you keep hearing about either one of these things, feel free to reach out to me, brad.lister@lendesk.com, and I'm more than happy to help you with getting connected, and you can learn more about everything and we can dive in. And now we'll kind of move over to a bit of Q&A, and I see there's quite a few questions, I think, in some of the chat, so I will take a look. Okay. Where is there the field to remove lenders? So you can, so if you have a lender, if you're on Lender Spotlight and you're on what's called in a team question, that's the question somebody had, where's the field to remove lenders? If you're on the Lender Spotlight and you're in a team, there's a team admin that can hide sort of lenders. So reach out to me and I'm super happy to show you how to do an admin sort of demo and show you how to kind of customize your setup. So if you're on Lender Spotlight and in the team setup, and by team setup, I mean, you've got your team logo in the top corner, you're seeing compensation and stuff, but maybe you're not seeing anything, happy to happy to anything like happy to help you with anything like that here. Can we add any contact info branding to those reports? So right now you can add contact info. I think you saw where I was loading that up there, and you can add your own contact info. The branding will be the team's branding. So if you're on a team account, your team logo will pull in. But again, happy to kind of take a personal one-on-one with anybody on anything like that. So that was for the compare and share, folks. If you were just wondering about context, is there a way to change the beacon range field in the comparison quote to credit score range or FICO score range? Happy to, that's a feedback question for a piece for Lucy. That she will happily take that down. There's not a way to change it now. That's a take offline kind of feedback piece here. Can we direct approach to lenders when we have a client? Of course you can. Like, you're not, for those anybody maybe vaguely concerned or confused or whatever, Lender Spotlight is the policy rate search tool, but if you are with a brokerage, for example, a lot of the A lenders, some of those will be signed up for your brokerage or team you're on. A lot of the private lenders, they expect to hear from you. You don't have to go through us. You can go right to them and have a conversation with them at any time. Okay, and I want to just kind of quickly come. There have been instances many times we said where the policy not updated. I want to actually sort of stop sharing this and go back to something that I want to show you on Lender Spotlight. And just sort of go back here on Lender Spotlight. When you're looking at the tool, oh, I think I'm not sharing my screen. There we go. When you're looking at Lender Spotlight and there was some concern about rates and things like that, you can sort of check verified by Spotlight 2022-0803 last updated. So that means we verified as of a certain date that that's still current, but the last date that particular product has been updated was that date. We are constantly updating, verifying, checking. Like we speak to the lenders, they send us information. So there shouldn't be any reason why the lender says, oh, they don't have it or something like that. We're on lenders lists. So we get all that information from them. So if you ever run into an instance, and I cannot repeat this enough, that you're concerned, you think something's wrong, the lender said something wrong, what I have found is sometimes, yeah, we've made a mistake. A lot of times there was a confusion with how we displayed something. So we want to hear from you because maybe that, back to what Lucy said, is feedback that how we're displaying rates or that particular product is confusing. And so there's some confusion or concern over something like that. So the more we hear from you, the better. I've had many times where people will say, oh, I'm looking at this rate and it's wrong. And I'll notice that they didn't use all the filters. So they were not filtering out something. So they were making an assumption that I was Lender Spotlight was incorrect, when in actual fact, there was maybe just some user issue. So talk to me, reach out, don't be afraid. I want to hear from you because I want to make sure it's as correct as we possibly can. Okay, now let's go back to some more of the Q&A here. Is there a separate all-day category since most define alternative category? Thanks, Barry, for that one. On the main side of Lender Spotlight, there is, again, another area for Alt A under alternative defined rate. So that's where that kind of is. Raymond, well, you can also save core lenders to use as a filter for different scenarios to make your search easier. Yes, that's exactly what we get people to do all the time. That's exactly what we get to people do all the time. I need more training. Is it possible? And to whom can we connect? If anybody needs more training, I'm going to put it in the everyone here. Just feel free to drop off to brad.lister@lendesk.com and we'll arrange the time for certainly more training. If you're already using a platform submission, is there a free version of Lender Spotlight to access the lender policy area? There is not. Actually, there is a free version, but the policy area and all that is not. There's a subscription though for Lender Spotlight. So if you're on that, again, you can reach out to use that. And I'm happy to show you and talk to you about that. What's the benefit of using Finmo? Darlene, I can have one of the Finmo team kind of reach out to kind of clarify that question and help you on Finmo. Is there a way to find out what pre-approval rates are for various lenders? Mike D. Yes, we actually do pre-approval down in the bottom in the programs area. You can actually use that. There's a right down in the product, and I'll share my screen quickly again. And there's a bit, as you can see right here, you can just click on pre-approval and it will pull up all of the pre-approval rates and anything like that about that. So you can use that here. Again, happy to kind of hop into like more deep, like some of these are getting into more deep type question stuff. So we're happy to answer any of those, like on another training session or anything like that. Is there a way to make the search by rate option the default rather than feature? Not currently, Tim. Thanks for the feedback on that. Happy to sort of send that back to Lucy. That's another great feedback piece. Oh, please, can you show us again where you pulled the alternative private mix? So here, I'll show that one more time here. So this area again on Spotlight, you're searching. This is the main rate area. That's the lender list for what we call the main Alt A side. The policy area, so what we call the file drawer, the alternative area right here, actually. And this is where you search for that. And then this is the help area too. Actually, there's some help articles. There's a bit of a webinar that's recorded here. All that kind of stuff is available right there. And I think I've hit all the questions. Is there, I don't believe there are any others. I know we're kind of starting to move towards time here. Oh, is there any more on the chat? Okay, no, I think we're good. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. And thank you to Lucy and all these wonderful questions. This is feedback. This is questions. Again, we hope we're helping you get as much as we can out of Lender Spotlight. Oh, can I have one more question? There's one about, there's a question about webinar. Oh, sorry. I'm seeing somebody says there's a question about webinar for lenders. Yes, I'm happy to do a separate webinar for lenders. If the lenders are, or if there are lenders on that are interested, happy to do that. You can reach out to me that way too via the email. Oh, thank you, everybody. This is amazing, and we really appreciate it. And let's thank Lucy for joining here too. I really appreciate. She, as you heard, she appreciates all your feedback. So you keep telling me stuff that I turn around and share it with her.
Yeah, thanks so much, everyone. There was a really great turnout. Really appreciate everyone taking the time to tune up and listen to how great we think Lender Spotlight is.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.